All tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. Most people use the term turtle to reference any reptile with a shell on its back that lays eggs regardless of if it's a turtle, a tortoise, or a terrapin. People in different parts of the world use different names depending on which type of turtle they're talking about, but turtle is often used to refer to sea turtles. The word terrapin distinguishes the type of turtle further. Terrapins are turtles that spend time both on land and in brackish, swampy water. The term tortoise refers to turtles that spend most of their time on land. They don't have webbed feet and they eat shrubs and grasses. The names used in different places can make things a little difficult to know what's being talked about sometimes. In the UK, for example, people regularly use the word terrapin to refer to turtles living in freshwater, while in America, most people lump turtles and terrapins into a single group. But there are also other words, such as cooter and slider, that could be used in the US that would be synonymous with the word terrapin. So, what do they look like? Turtles and terrapins have adaptations which allow them to spend the majority of their time in the water. The most obvious adaptation for this are flipper-like legs, or webbed feet, so that it's easier for them to glide through the water. In addition to this, their shells are usually thinner and more water dynamic. Tortoises, on the other hand, often have rounded, dome shells and club-like forelegs, as well as large, strong hind legs that help them move around on land and carry their extra weight. There's a good reason why they're so confusing to differentiate just by looking at them. Turtles, tortoises, and terrapins are all very similar and come from the chelonian family of reptiles. This means that they're genetically related, and much of their bodies work in similar manners. But they're not close enough for a tortoise and turtle to be able to mate. So what do they have in common? First of all, turtles and tortoises are all cold-blooded. This means that they can't create their own body heat, so they need to get it from another source. Otherwise, they can freeze to death. In February 2021, Winter Storm Uri had widespread impacts across the entire United States, northern Mexico, and parts of Canada. In Texas, the winter storm caused at least 57 deaths as they experienced sub-freezing temperatures that overwhelmed the electricity infrastructure. But the storm didn't just affect humans. When the water temperature falls below 50 degrees, the endangered green sea turtles on the coast of Texas become cold-stunned. Their heart rate lowers, their flippers become paralyzed, and their bodies will start to float comatose above the water. This puts them at risk for predators, boats, and even drowning. Cold stunning events happen occasionally, but when it does, it's usually about 100 to 200 turtles, maybe 500 for a larger event. But this historic winter storm was intense. Volunteers had nearly 5,000 cold-stunned turtles that they rescued and were getting ready to release. This was the largest cold-stunning event in recorded history. They all have different features and adaptations, but they all have a shell. Turtles and terrapins have shells that are usually thinner and more water dynamic. Tortoises have rounded dome shells. All of their shells are made of keratin, just like your hair and nails. They all lay eggs. Turtles have enough to worry about when it comes to keeping their eggs safe from predators. Unfortunately, they don't stand a chance when poachers set their sights on them. Most often, when we talk about turtle egg poachers, we're referring to those taken from endangered sea turtle nests that are smuggled and sold illegally in the wildlife trade. This wildlife crime is devastating because sea turtles are very slow to mature. For some populations, it's estimated that it could take up to 25 years before a turtle starts to lay eggs. This means that the full effect of removing eggs now might not be seen for another 25 years, when the offspring that should arrive on the beaches to nest never show up, or they come back in far fewer numbers. Thankfully, there are many ongoing initiatives in place to help crack down on poaching and the illegal wildlife trade. For example, 3D printed decoy eggs have been used to trace a poaching pathway from Costa Rica so that authorities, scientists, and conservationists can better understand why and how it happens and explore ways to stop it. Although we think of sea turtles a lot, they're actually in the minority. There are more than 356 species of turtle, tortoise, and terrapins. Of these, there are 7 known species of sea turtles: loggerhead, green turtle, leatherback, hawksbill, Kemp's ridley, flatback, and olive ridley. The rest will be found in a variety of habitats across the globe on land or by fresh or brackish water. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Learning with Lotl. If you liked what you heard, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. See you next time!